We'll see how to invoke a list of records from the server set. Last example, what we have done is how to invoke a method from Apex class within the Lightning. Now we try to understand how to make a request and get a list of records from the server. We'll try to retrieve list of records and we'll try to display in the Lightning. So let me log in. Let me log into my account. First, what is our concept? We want to invoke list of records from the server side. So first, let us build an Apex class which will give you list of records. So let us build an Apex class which will give you list of records. Good. Let us see this.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I said this. Your voice is not clear. It's too slow. A bit too low.
Am I audible now? Everyone?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now let us see. First, let me create an Apex class which can retrieve a list of records. So how to define an Apex class? If you want an Apex class to be invoked in the Lightning, if you want an Apex class to be invoked within the Lightning, that Apex class should have a method with annotation at the rate of Jura enabled. The method should have annotation with at the rate of Jura enabled. So I am giving here I rotate Apex class. Class is a public. Here I am defining at the rate of Jura enable. So that this method is available for Lightning functionality. Then the method is a public, static. Every method which we want to invoke in the Lightning should be static. Then what you are expecting? List of, let me say contact. I am giving get contacts. So when you call this method, what it was supposed to do? It is supposed to write a query, get the list of contact records and give. So I am giving get. I am reviewing the data. List of contacts equal to select id comma select id comma constructor one quick minute. id comma name phone email from contact. I wrote a circle query and I am giving limit. So I wrote a query which is fetching a list of contacts and it is giving you written contacts. So we have completed the Apex class. What was this class? In this class we have a method called. In this class we have a method called get contacts. The purpose of this method is what? This method is going to fetch. This method is going to fetch list of contacts This method is going to give you list of contacts and it is going to return them. This method is going to fetch the list of contacts and it is going to return them. This is the purpose of the class and method. Now what is our requirement now? Our requirement is we want to invoke this Apex class within the lightning component. So first let us create a lightning component. New lightning component. Contact list. I am creating a lightning component contact list. Now here if you want any Apex class, to be used in the component, what we do? We define controller equal to name of the class dot contact. Then I am defining here. So you have got your component controller equal to your contact example. Here I am defining your handler name equal to init type equal to value equal to this. Then we have action. When you say action, so what I have done? Was whenever we are calling this component, it is invoking a client-side controller called invoke method. Fine, no issue. Go back to this. Here, click on the controller. This controller is going to invoke whom? The client-side controller. When I click on controller, it is going to create client-side controller. So, what is the name of the client-side controller? Invoke. Right. Now, in the last session, we have discussed how to invoke a server-side method. If you want to invoke a server-side method, what we are supposed to do, boss? Where action equal to component. What is the component? Component which called this JavaScript. Component which has invoked this JavaScript. Component which has invoked this JavaScript dot get C. C is what? Control in the component dot get contacts. What is this get contacts? Get contacts is a name of the method. Whatever the method we are trying to invoke, that is the name of the method. So when you call this method, I told you, any method that we are invoking from Apex class, any method we are invoking from Apex class has to execute in the asynchronous format. So when you say has to execute in the form of asynchronous, what we do? $a dot enq $enq action. What is the name of the action? So this is the action what we have enq. Now we want to create a callback. Callback means when the action in the queue is completed, it is going to give you result set. Based on the result set, we want to perform a callback action. How you define the callback action? Action dot set callback C capital back B capital. In the callback, how many parameters are there? 2 parameters. First parameter is scope. What is the scope here? This. Second parameter is action, what you want to perform. You're going to get function response. Then, when you got the response, we need to understand whether response is a success or a failure. We are invoking a response, but we are not sure whether response is a success or a failure. We are trying to invoke a response, whether response is a success or a failure, we are not sure. So what we are supposed to do? Get the state of the response. How do you get the state of the response? Where state equal to response dot get the state. Now if state is success, if state equal to, if state equal to success, then what we are doing? Console log. Down the line we see lightning debugger, but right now we are using a console. Console.log. Writing if else condition. Else console.log. This is how we have created. Now created a component, created a Apex class, created a client side control. If you want to execute this, we need new Lightning application. Contact list app. So how do you invoke it? See, contact list. So have a preview. I am not printing anything in the component. So we got empty page. Give a right click, inspect, go to the console. What is the message we are getting? Success. Right? So request is going and the response is coming in and the status is success. When status is success, which set of records we are getting? We want to check whether we are getting the list of records or not. So how do you check? I am giving here console.log response.get. So what we have? Response.get return value. Go back to this. So we are able to see. We are able to see the data. We are able to see ID, name, source. Now this is coming in the form of JSON actually. The response is coming in the form of JSON. Already we discussed an example. In the first class of Lightning, I told you we have a client side controller, server side controller. Any request that is going from Lightning, it is a Lightning application. If any request is going from Lightning to server side, server will go like Ajax call. Any request that you are making from Lightning to the server will go like Ajax call. Any response that is coming from the server to Lightning will be coming in the form of take that JSON and render only the element what we need to be refreshed. Okay, we are going to get a JSON, take the value of the JSON and render the element which you want to render. So it is going to work like a exact call. Response is going to come like a JSON that we are going to use. Okay. Now in that case, how to convert the JSON like a string? If you want to convert JSON like a string, we had a method called JSON.stringify. What is the method? JSON.stringify. What this will do? Whatever the JSON object we got, that is converted in the form of string. So what is the value? JSON.stringify. Why I am using this? Because I was printing this message in the console, I am finding it difficult to understand each and every record. That is the reason I want to convert it into string and show you. Right? So what I was doing here, how do you convert? Result equal to stringify. Let me check out the spell again. I don't want to have a typo error. Stringify. we got in this format. Again, go back to the app. Now look at this. Now the data we are getting in the form of what? This is a JSON. This is JSON. This is a right. So as per your requirement, you can convert it into string and show it if you want. But what is our requirement? We understood that when you open an application, it is calling a controller. Controller is calling a JavaScript. JavaScript is calling a fx class method. Fx class method is giving a result here. So we are able to understand everything is working fine. But what we need to do, whatever the result we are getting from the fx class, that result we need to display in the component. Whatever the result we are getting, that should be displayed in the component. So I am giving here. So I am taking. What is the first element I have to take? Your attribute name equal to my contacts type equal to I have created a attribute. When you create a attribute, whatever the list of contacts we are getting there, those contacts I want to save it here. How will you save those contacts? Component dot set b dot my contacts b dot contacts then what is the result we got? Response dot get so whatever the response we are getting, that response we are setting into my contacts. So we are getting that my contacts. If you have a array of elements, how will you display this? We got array of elements. So how will you display this array of elements? So I need to go with the iteration. Items equal to what is the items we had? Sorry, equal to. Am I right? So this is how we are going to display. So here I had a dot name a dot a dot what is the other thing that I have fixed? A dot email, then phone number, this all. So it is a attribute, so we need to refer with v dot. So this is how we fetch the data. Now you are calling a client side controller. Client side controller is making to a request to a server side. Server is giving some list of records. Whatever the list of record that server is giving, those list of records are reassigned to the component attribute. That attribute values we are printing it. I hope you are good with this, right? Okay. Now we had only one choice. What is that? If you want a group of elements to be printed, if you want a group of elements to be printed, we had only one choice. What is that? Iteration. Okay. Then go to the application. You got the data. You're able to see name. What about the phone number? Am I querying the phone number? ID, phone, email. Okay. What I was giving here? Go back to the application. Is a case sensitive. Right. This is how we are getting the data. So we wrote a SQL query and we are getting the data. For your understanding, I'll give a BR here so that you understand every record is printed separately.
Hello.
So go back and see the data is printed here. This is how list of records are getting printed. But the problem here is, are we getting a look and feel for this? We are able to make a request, we are able to get the data, but the lightning view is not there. The lightning design system is not there. We are not getting the lightning design design look and feel. So we want to apply some CSS on this and get the lightning look and feel, right? So if you want to get a lightning look and feel, what is the first thing that we need to do? Go to the application, we need to give extends course. First, if you want to include Salesforce Lightning Design System components and their CSS, we have to extend it. Okay. First, what I will do is, I will create some header. So when you want to create any header, go to this Lightning Design System. lightningdesignsystem.com. Then it is a predefined SLES. Okay. So what are you finding here? Component. Select the components. We want to apply on the component. So here, first I want to print header. When you say header, we got builder page header, global header, page header, blueprint overview, different types of headers we got. In this, I want to go for a page header. I want to go for page header. When I say page header, this is how look and feel is to. The look and feel will be coming like this. Like this, the look and feel will be coming. To get this look and feel, this is the code what we have. To get this look and feel, this is the code. So copy the code. So we need to align them. So let us see. So go to HTML beautifier. Copy the code. Alignments. As we are copying the code, we want to align them properly. Right. You go to the code, copy the code. So why? You did not write a code for this. You did not write a code for this. Already they have given a sample code. Sample code with the sample CSS. Right? With the SLES CSS they already given. Use this code and replicate. What I'm doing, go to the lightning component. In the lightning component, as it's a header, okay. This is how we got. If I save it, we had an issue. What is the issue? SVG. Now, the icon what they are getting here, the icon what they are using here, they have used using SVG. But right now, I am not including that icon. We don't have that source of that icon. That is the reason it's throwing error. So, instead of the icon what they are giving, I want to use my own icon. Here the problem is that this icon is there. You are able to see the icon, right? This icon. Okay, to get this icon, they are using SVG. But the source of that is not included in my component. We didn't use any source files. So obviously it is saying we are unable to recognize SVG. So in place of that icon, I want to use my own icon. So how to use your own icons? Again, lightning icon. There is an attribute called lightning icon using which we can go for it. So how this icon will be created? Lightning component. This all. So what should I do? I have to remove this. I have to remove this SVG because it's not going to support. The source is not supported by my organization. So what I did? I removed this SVG, creating by this.
Can't we put that SVG in the SVG section?
That's again we need to get into a different concept. So We'll be learning that in later part. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So this is how we put it. What did I do? I am putting a lightning icon name. So what is this icon name? Here we have icons. Choose one of the icon as per your choice. When you open this, they give a icons. So you have list of icons. Look at this. All these are list of icons. So in this action, add contact, add a file, choose whatever you want. So I'll go with action, approval, action approval. Go back to this. Action approval. Now it is saved, right? Now go to the application, have a preview. We kept that approval icon, so we got approval icon. Now we got some message here, right? Okay, where is this message? Is a hard coded value. In the message, when you copied the template, whatever the old message is there, the same message we are getting, right? So what I'm doing here, I'm giving a title. Then I'm giving subtitle. So whatever the template style is there, the same template we are using. So they told if you give a message here, it will be printed on the top. If you give a message, it will be printed at the bottom. Simply what you are supposed to do, replace your messages. Because already predefined template is there. In the template we are changing the data as per your requirement. So here I am giving, then I am giving here title. What is this title? When I keep a cursor on that, look at the point. When you keep a cursor on that, you're getting a message, right? Small pop-up. That's called title. Here I told contact list. I give a name called my contacts. If you want to give a title, you can give. Otherwise, you can leave it. So what did I do on the page? First, I have added my header. On the component, first what I have done? I have added my header. The next, I want this data to be displayed in the form of table. Whatever the list of records we are getting, those list of records, I want to display them like a table. Again, if you want to get a look and feel of lightning, you did not write a code again. So what I can do, you can go to lightning design system. Here I want. So they told data tables, display data, layout, they give some structure. Now I want to go for data table. I want to display a list of records in the table. When you go for a list of records in the table, they told the data will be printed like this. If you use this code, the data will be printed like this. They give a sample SLDS code. So what I'm doing, copy this code. Go to component. Now, before I do, first I need to beautify the code. Otherwise, I need to align them. This is the code what I received. This is the code what I received. Right? So in this code, what happened? The table TRTD we can do, but a major point is the CSS. That I need to by heart all those things. Instead of that, what we are doing, already they have given a sample templates. We are replicating those sample templates. Okay. Now they give a table and all this stuff. So what they are giving? Opportunity data they are trying to print. So I don't want to print an opportunity data. So what I want to do, what are the fields I queried? Name, phone, email, ID. contact name, name, yeah. I'm not having any extra columns, I don't need this. Right? This is the table header. This is the table header. Now they have given number of rows. They give a number of rows. I don't need this many rows. I don't need this many rows. I don't need those many rows because we are not going to hardcode the value. What is our requirement? We are going to write a loop. I am not going to create row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4 like this. I am going to create a loop. So when I am trying to create a loop, it is a tr. What I am going to give here? Where is the value? The value is going to be a dot. When are you going to get a dot name? Item is equal to a dot text var equal to here. So name. What is the next one we had? First one is not name. First one is ID, right? First one should be ID. V dot next one we had phone. You want to print a value, you can print a value also. A dot phone. Whatever you give, when you keep a cursor, that will be displayed. It's your choice what you want to display. Last one is what is the last one we had? What we had? A dot name, A dot name, A dot phone, A dot email. I'm just removing this. Previously I have printed this and now I'm removing this. So what was that? We had a table. In the table we had a table header. In the table header we had a table body. In the table body iteration. So every time it repeats, one row will be created. But if you look at this, all these styles I'm not creating. Already SLDS has given these styles. I verified. I require them in the same format. So there are design systems. I'm selecting the existing design system, replicating it. I'm not writing the CSS here. I'm not putting all the CSS here. I'm replicating the template which is already existing. Come again? 30? 37. No. Go back to the application. So this is how we got the data. So whatever the lightning look and feel is there, we have achieved it. Are you getting my point? So what did I do? I wrote a component. I wrote one Apex class, and I created a component. When the component is loaded, it is going to call a client side controller. Client side controller is making a request to server side. Server is giving a list of records to you. Whatever the list of records it is giving, I am setting this value to an attribute. Then the attribute values are retrieved and displayed. While displaying, we want to get a standard look and feel of standard look and feel of okay lightning. So I went to lightning design system. I selected a header. I selected a table. So when you look at a table, we look at this. When you are selecting a table, here we have some. Look at this. This is a base format. No, the structure is changed. When you want this structure, what should I do? Select this data. Select whatever the structure you want. Select whatever the structure you want. Okay. Now, if you want the data to be in this format, select this structure. Are you getting my point? If you want the data to be in this format, we need to go for this structure. So select. When you select that, you're going to get a sample code. Take that and make it. So all the different structures are given, possibilities are given to you. You choose whatever you want. So let me take this structure. Here, am I using any SVG icons? No SVG. Some SVG icons are there which I need to replace. Okay, fine. Are you getting my point here? Okay. So this is a way in which we are retrieving the data and displaying it. People have followed, right?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. I have a small question. So, will the client-side controller defaultly have the asynchronous nature?
Client-side control is a JavaScript. So
Yeah, that that has default asynchronous nature.
see boss. JavaScript is invoked directly when event occurs. One function is going to call. Now it is going to run in a sequence order. This is
Okay.
scripting. It's a scripting.
Okay.
Right. Fine. I hope you are clear with this format. Okay. Now let us take to the next example. If you have followed, I'll go to the next one. Everyone is good with this example? Followed everyone?
Can you explain one more time? Can you go through that one more time?
See. So how do you make an Apex class to be available? If you want an Apex class to be available in the Lightning, you need to give at the rate of Jura enabled. When you make the method as at the rate of Jura enabled, then this Apex class can be used within the Lightning system. Now, if you want to make any method as era enabled, we should have annotation of at the rate of era enabled, and the method should be public or global, and we need to give static, and it should have a static, and the method should have a static. Then we had list of contact, get contacts, list of contacts, get contacts. So what I'm doing, we are writing a SQL query and giving you list of contacts. We are giving a SQL query and it is giving you list of contacts. The next, I created a component. What is this component? Initially, I have created a component which is invoking a handler. When the component is loaded, we want the handler to be called. When a component is loaded, we want the handler to be called. So what is that handler? Whenever the component is loading, you want the component. Whenever the component is loading, whenever the component is loading, you want the handler to be automatically invoked. How do you invoke it? Jura handler name equal to init, value equal to this, action equal to client side controller. When you say client side controller, it is a JavaScript. It is a JavaScript. The moment I call this JavaScript, we are going for a client side controller. So what I'm doing, this JavaScript is calling the method what you defined in the Apex class. How can you call a method in the Apex class? Component dot get c dot get contacts. Component dot c dot get contacts. When you call this, we got an object called action. Now, every server side operation that we are invoking from the client side operation that should be executed like a asynchronous operation. So what I'm doing, we're adding that action to the enqueue action. When you add it to enqueue action, the job will be added to the queue. Whenever it executes, then the result set will come and a callback will be executed. So if the result set is coming to you, how to make a callback? So object action dot set callback. Scope of this is this function response. So when you are getting a response, I want to know whether this response is success or a failure. That is the reason I have given if state equal to success, perform this. not successor, performance. Right? If it is successor, what I'm doing, whatever the result they are giving, that result I am giving in the form of response dot get written value. This I am setting to a attribute called my contacts.
Yeah, hello, Satish.
Yes.
Can you go back to the controller? So if you are writing that statement means $a.nq action. So this method going to be asynchronous, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
You're stuck up with this asynchronous from yesterday. Right.
No, actually, I had a little confusion.
Now, then what we are doing, response dot get written here. So whatever the value we got here, that is assigned to attribute called my contacts. When it is assigned to attribute called my contacts, then I'm trying to print the value. When I'm printing the value, I'm not getting the standard look and feel of the lightning. So what I have done, I went to lightning design system, copied some of the CSS templates and brought the look and feel of the lightning. Have you got this point? Okay. Let me execute one more example. Probably you may understand this structure. So let me get opportunity records and display. So how do you do it? How you define? Public, static, stop, it up. What I'm doing, list of opportunity. Select name, stage name, use date, opportunity, limit. I'm just limiting my records. The first part of the story. What is the first part? Writing a query, giving the list of records. This is the first part of the component. Then what you are supposed to do? Create a lightning component. Of the list component. Then here I am creating one attribute. Here are attribute name equal to type equal to what type of value we are going to get? Opportunity. This is the data what we got. So here I want to run some operation automatically. How the operation will run automatically? Yura handler name init value action this is the component what I create. Now I also want to create one lightning application, new lightning application. In the lightning application I want to invoke this component. So how do you invoke? C dot right. Then go to the controller. In the controller, I'm writing invoke. So how to call the method? What is the name of the method? Get opti. So you are supposed to call. So I'm giving where component dot get c dot This is how we are thinking. Now, any apex class method we are invoking that should run like asynchronous. So we have to add them to asynchronous. A dot enqueue action. In case if the action is completed, it is going to give a result. How the result will come? How the result will come? Action dot set callback this function response. Then once you are calling, you need to check the status where state equal to response dot get state. If state equal to success, if the state equal to success, if the state equal to success, then what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to get the result. How do you get the result? Component dot set v dot my list response dot response got get a return value. So whatever the response we are getting, that I have set here. This will be helpful for me while testing it. In case if any bug is there, for testing it will be helpful to me. So you made a call to them, they are giving a response. Whatever the response we are getting, that response I am putting in v dot list. Okay. Now what you want to do? You want to display the data in the form of a table. When you want to display the data in the form of a table, I am supposed to go to Lighting Design System. Okay. Then the search for a table. Choose the data table. Choose the data table. Choose the basic. This is the structure what we receive. So copy the structure. Paste. You got the same structure is available here, right? So I was copying same structure is there, right? I was copying. So they gave hard coded values. Because they gave hard coded values, I'm removing one row. So what is the structure they give? Opportunity name, stage name, close date, then amount. This is the data. So opportunity name, stage name, close date, amount. This is what? Heading. In the body, we are going to have a group of records. So how do you fetch it? Here are where this is how we got it. Now in this, what is the format we are taking? First one, A dot. Next we had A dot. Stage name, What close date? A dot close date. What is the amount? This is how we have created. Alright, boss. So what was this? We are getting the structure like a page block. What was that? Now you got a page block table, right? The page block table already built-in CS is there, which you are getting in the page. Similarly, so lighting design system has given some template for a table. So copy the template and replicate your data. Copy the template and get the data. So I have displayed this. So what I need to do? Go to the application, have a preview. Was this get optic? The reason is in the controller I was supposed to give yeah. So what was this? Attribute stage name, spelling mistake.
Application extends.
Yeah, 1 minute. First attribute. Yeah, yeah. Then the application also I need to get the standard, so I have to give extends course SFDs. So this is how we are getting. So on the top of it, I need to give some header or badge. What I'm going to do, so I'll go to this lighting design system. Then I'll give some if any SVGs are there, we'll be leaving, otherwise we'll take it. These icons SVGs are there, so copy it. First let me beautify the code. Here I was supposed to name equal to action what was that attribute name. So there's some bug here. Go to our lightning icon name. So go back to application. Right? So we are building up the structure. So still, by as per the topic, we'll go to the components. So and see what are the things we can include there. So I hope you are clear with this format. Clear with this, right? Any further queries from your end? Right, boss? Okay. Now, next part. Next part of it. Maybe a couple of things I'll cover it before I close. Look at the point. Next, boss, we are making a static operation. We are making a static operation. What do you mean by static? Now, I want to form a dynamic circle query. When you want to form a dynamic circle query, what should I do? I want to get all the account records. Now, I am going to get a page here. The page I am going to enter. When I click on the search, I want to get all the records where name equal to matching this name and rating equal to whatever the rating what we have given. So what we want to do? We want to make it a dynamic operation. Now what we done right now, when the component is loaded, automatically going getting all the opportunities. I don't want to get all the opportunities. I want to get only those opportunities which are meeting my condition. So I want to make this operation as a dynamic operation. If you want to make this operation as a dynamic operation, two concepts you have to learn. First concept, how to create these UI components, right? How to create an input text, how to create a button, how to create an input, okay, pick list, how to create a radio button, how to create checkboxes, how to create a color. There are a lot of input components are there. How to create those components. That is the first part of the story. Second part of the story is when you enter this data, how do you pass this data to Apex class? Right now, if it is a method, what I'm doing, we have a syntax. What is the syntax? Component dot get c dot method. This is how we got it. So I will not be able to pass the parameter here. But what is that? I want to invoke a method which has a parameter. It has like this. The name. So whatever the data is there, this data I want to pass to that method. So how to invoke a method which contains a parameter? How to create the UI components? Second, how to invoke a method which contain a UI parameter, okay, which contain a parameter. In this case, we have a action dot set params So how you are supposed to pass? We are supposed to use action dot set params and pass the parameters. So let me show the syntax one more time. Look at the point. Let me show the syntax. We'll see the execution part in the later session, but let us understand the syntax. Look at this. Set params that should be passed in the form of key value pair. Set params, the value should be passed in the form of key value pair. Set params, key value pair. Set params, key value pair. Set params. I'll repeat the syntax one more time. Look at the point. Generally, if you want to call a method, how are you calling? Where action equal to component dot get dot This is how we are calling, right? Then if you want to pass the parameter action dot set params, set params, one quick minute. So we have attribute. It should be straight away given. No single quotes, no double quotes for this. I gave a mistake here. So this is how we are creating. This is how we are creating. Right? Are you getting my point? Remaining operation is same. So if you are trying to call a method, so that action dot set params, action dot set params, name salary. I hope you are clear with this. So we'll see the execution part in the